Before I was a mum, I had a lot of traumatic experiences throughout my life.
I grew up with my mother and father, but I never feel like I had enough love.
I think the danger with mental health is that if you don't get the right support, it turns into a mental illness.
When I was at uni, I was in an abusive relationship. I didn't tell anybody at the time, no friends knew, no family knew. I was studying healthcare management, I was working as a domiciliary carer, doing 70 hours a week. That was when I decided enough was enough on the abusive relationship, and I ended up messaging my landlord after shouting to the neighbours to phone the police because there was an altercation going on and my phone was smashed. I ended up leaving the house that day and I messaged the landlord, I can't do this, I need to give up my tenancy. I was homeless for the next 6 to 8 months. Most of the time I was just staying in my car. It was such a hard situation to be in. You feel like you're lost and you're lonely, you're isolated. There was times where I'd be driving down the road and think, oh, do I just drive into the bridge and just end it all? Before I had Kalai and I had the suicidal thoughts and I'd been through all the traumatic things and I'd had the thoughts of why am I here, what am I here for, is there a point of being here? As soon as Kalai got put in my arms, this is why I'm here.
So when a new parent has had a child, obviously, and with the experiences that they've had, traumatic experiences that they've had, it really affects the way they are as a parent, how they parent for themselves and for their child.
Then I got seen by the perinatal nurses. I struggle with my mental health in terms of going out and just generalised anxiety, social anxiety, everything. I really feel like he was lacking, so he wasn't getting that social interaction. They noticed that Darian had got no support as well and thought Darian could benefit just as much as I could from having somebody in the house to help him.
So when I came in to see Charlotte, I really recognised that it's really important for mums, especially new mums and being a first-time mum, to understand that relationship with their bond and their relationship with their child. Mum was already doing some lovely things with him, and I think she just needed that reassurance that she's doing the right thing there, but having that home start support by her side just helped her kind of affirm everything that she's doing. Everything she is doing is really well and really positive.
Without Home Start coming into mine and my family's life, I wouldn't have had access to the children's centres, I wouldn't have been going to the parks, I wouldn't have got out, my son wouldn't be in nursery or wouldn't be going to nursery. I would just be at home with nobody, trying to do the best I could do, not knowing if it's the best that I could do. Having Rohima here, it's now I'm doing that and so much more. I'm doing that and now he's getting an education and he's making friends and he's developing well and truly, and you can just see how much Home Start has benefited me and my son in terms of I'm a more confident person now. I'll speak to other parents, whereas before I would put my head down and try not to look at you or your child.
She was beating me, even my father. I didn't even go into school. I have to work hard during holiday in order to find like a bit of money to pay my school feed and everything. So it was kind of hard life. And then when I moved here, I found that other side of the life. I found that we can have like love from people. I found that child was like really important for people. I met my daughter dad in Piccadilly in town. Joyce never met her dad because he moved to another country. Being a mom at 18 was very scary. I was a young mom and then I was alone. I volunteered Carolyn started to work with me when Joyce was 2 weeks, and she helped me to understand my baby feelings, my baby needs. She helped me to make like kind of connection with Joyce.
When I first heard Catherine's story, well, I mean, it's sort of unimaginable. Coming here as a teenager with no English, in foster care, going to school straight away, somehow managing. I first visited Catherine when Joyce was only 2 weeks old, and for the first couple of visits it was definitely about feeding the baby and looking after her while Catherine did her studies. And after perhaps two or three visits like that, we would start to go out together.
It's not easy to be a mom in a country with quite, like really new for me, but knowing that Carolyn was coming once a week make a big difference. Life with my family in Cameroon was really difficult, physically and mentally, and then that's something I didn't want to have for my daughter. But being with Homestart and working with my volunteer Carolyn helped me to be a better person, helped me to be like a good mom, a mom that I wanted to be for my daughter. So they gave me love, and then I think that's love I can give it back to my daughter.
I had a very successful career in para athletics, so I was ranked number 5 in the world. I was a Paralympian. I think the shock to the system of having a baby was quite unprecedented for me. I didn't have the routines anymore of athletics, the structure. I was struggling to recover from birth and from pregnancy, and I had lived a life beforehand where I was so active. I would do half a marathon a day in training. I would train 6 days a week. I was referred into Homestart by my health visitor, and I really liked the idea of it. I liked the sound of it. It was like, oh, so it's not a service in a way. It's more of a community. That's what it felt like when she explained it. So I said, oh yeah, please do. I knew I wanted to get out and about. I knew I wasn't doing it enough. I was kind of feeling a bit tethered to the house, and I just really wanted someone to speak to as well. So I was quite prescriptive, and I had a really good idea of what I wanted. So when I had that initial chat with Homestart, they matched me with Kersha, and Homestart were really quite lovely about her, and also put me at ease about the fact that technically this is someone that you don't know in your house. You're not always in the best of circumstances, so you don't want to feel judged. You've got a new baby, you know, you want to feel capable, and you want to feel like you're managing everything, you're a super mum, but sometimes in reality you don't manage everything, and you are going to have days where you're not having a good day. And so if you are matched with somebody, you want to be able to feel at ease. And so that's exactly how Homestart had described Kersha, and so I was actually really excited to meet her.
As a first-time mum, Carly wasn't very confident, which meant that she didn't really feel comfortable going out of the house. So when I came to support, she would ask, like, you know, would you mind coming to baby sensory with me? And I think what gave her the confidence is knowing that there was somebody else with her.
As time went on, I said, oh, actually, I really do want to try a soft play. But my concern with the the fact that I had cerebral palsy was that I wouldn't be able to walk safely with my child on foam mats, you know, and these are the things that I would obsess about. Part of the reason why I've had a second baby is because I was empowered through Home Start and also empowered through just having lived it and understanding that I could do it.
I see a mum who is confident in her ability to be a mum. I feel like she knows she's a good mum, and her children are happy, her children are absolutely thriving.
I would say Home Start's helped my mental health massively, just in terms of one, having somebody to talk to, two, having somebody to get you out and not be stuck in the same four walls with your own thoughts, which makes it worse. Without Home Start, I would be extremely lonely and isolated. I've had my now first friend in 4-5 years at the parent group, thanks to Rohima. So, yeah. It makes a massive difference.
I would say that Home Start did positively impact my mental health because they were the support system that I needed at the time, and they were there at the right time and the right place, you know, in my home, helping me and just making me realise that I was a good mum and that I could be the mum that I wanted to be, not the mum that I felt like I had to be.
My hope for the future to go to university, and maybe in 5 years after I will be like pharmacist. My hope for Joyce is to be happy. I just want her to be happy.
My hopes for the future is that my son just becomes this beautiful social butterfly that I can be extremely proud of. I want to get myself into a mental state where I can do something and start possibly my own business where my son can be proud of me and say, look what my mum's doing.
Working in a children's home, I am working with children and young people that have had traumatic childhoods, and I feel like Home Start's early intervention approach stops many families reaching crisis point.